Meet the CX-60, Mazda's new SUV. Now, ahead of this car's launch in autumn 2022, Mazda have given me the keys to find out what I think. Now, this is a very exciting day because this is also Mazda's first plug-in hybrid. And there's a petrol engine and an electric motor working harmoniously together or separately from each other to deliver the benefits of pure electric motoring with none of the range anxiety. Mazda's KODO design language has really evolved with the new CX-60. Take a look at this large grille. It really hints at the power that lies underneath the bonnet. There's this deeply sculpted front end and this long bonnet. Now, it contrasts really nicely with the truncated rear end. It looks as though this car is sat back on its haunches and is really powering forwards. It gives this car a really distinctive look. Let's stay at the rear because the CX-60 comes as standard with a hands-free tailgate, which is perfect when you're lugging those heavy shopping bags from the supermarket. Now, all you need to do to operate it is to swipe your foot underneath the rear bumper and the tailgate opens. Now, once the tailgate is open, it opens to reveal a very large and practical boot. You can fold down the rear seats, and once they're down, there is even more boot space on offer. Speaking of the inside, let's take a look up front. Now, Mazda have given me a European spec CX-60 to test today, but it does nothing to change what is a beautiful interior. It is brimming with lovely design details. It is exquisitely well made in here. Now, there's also a panoramic sunroof which bathes the interior with daylight, and I love the standard fit leather seats. The CX-60 debuts some clever new technology, the Mazda driver personalization system. The great thing about this is that I can hop straight into the car will automatically scan my face and set the car to my preferred settings. I don't have to waste time in changing all of the features. A special interior is one thing. Let's find out what the CX-60 is like to drive. The CX-60 is Mazda's most powerful road car ever. The petrol engine and electric motor combined, they develop 327 PS. That's good enough for a 0 to 62 mph acceleration time of 5.8 seconds. Now, that power is kept in control with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. You can leave the gearbox in drive mode should you wish, or you can take manual control with the paddles behind the steering wheel. Now, the CX-60 is constantly adapting to the way you drive, but you can choose from a number of different driving modes through the My Drive controller. Now, the normal mode, that's where the petrol engine and electric motor, the car's constantly flittering between those power sources to give the most efficient driving experience. You can also choose between Sport, where the petrol engine and electric motor work together to deliver the most amount of punch. EV mode, that's where the car locks itself in its electric setting. More of that a little bit later on. There's also off-road mode, where the all-wheel drive system adapts itself to give you the most amount of traction and grip should you go off the beaten track. And lastly, there's the towing mode. Now, that mode appears on the digital instrument display in front of you when you're actually hitched up to a caravan or a trailer, for example. Now, the beauty of having a plug-in hybrid powertrain is there is a choice of 2 different power sources. Now, when you choose EV mode, you get up to 39 miles of pure electric range. That's more than enough for the average daily commute. And when you plug the CX-60 into a charger, a 20 to 80% charge takes just 90 minutes. I always enjoy getting behind the wheel of a Mazda because the infotainment system, I mean, it's so easy and safe to use on the move. You just control it with this rotary dial down here on the center console. And the screen itself, that's 12.3 inches in size, and it's ultra crisp and very easy to use and look at when you're actually driving. Now, the CX-60 might be Mazda's largest SUV, but Mazda hasn't forgotten that this is a Mazda at heart, so it's very fun to drive. The steering, for example, nice and light, nice and accurate as well. It gives you a huge amount of confidence when you're sort of throwing this car around on country roads. And speaking of that, the chassis itself, it just makes the car just feel so enthusiastic and so adjustable to drive. Now, before I pull over, there's one last piece of technology I want to talk to you about, and that's the reversing camera. Now, if I slot the gearbox into reverse, and I get this 360 degree of the car, of the ground around me, it's a proper bird's eye view. It really does make parking an absolute doddle. So that's the end of my day with the new Mazda CX-60. It's time for my verdict. I like the design, it really does stand out from the crowd. The interior is a real highlight for me. I love the way it's brimming with lots of lovely little design touches. There's lots of clever technology on board, and this is a pretty fun SUV to drive. In terms of this being Mazda's first plug-in hybrid, well, I think Mazda have probably succeeded here. It's both powerful and efficient to drive. On this first early taster, this is one desirable new SUV.